Hello, Bronwynlund from BronHolm Tours here. I'm in Australia and I'm in the city of Melbourne, and today we're going to do a tour around Fitzroy Gardens, which are absolutely beautiful. So I hope you enjoy the tour. These gardens were first established when Melbourne was a very young city in 1848. And as you can see from the size of the trees, they are very well established, and it's just an absolutely beautiful place to walk through. And as we walk through the gardens, we will actually stop and have a look at a few of the features around the gardens. But mostly I just wanted to walk around the garden and enjoy the sounds of the birds in this wonderful inner city retreat. Over to our right is the conservatory, which contains a lot of different imported plants from around the world, and unfortunately it's closed for renovations, so we can't go in to the conservatory today. There's some information here. Fitzroy Gardens is a haven on the edge of the city with many points of interest for visitors to enjoy. Set aside as a public reserve in 1848, the 26-hectare site officially became Fitzroy Gardens in 1862. It is the City of Melbourne's premier garden, where different eras of Melbourne's history are represented, both in the landscape and the built features. In this immediate area is the conservatory with its colourful floral exhibitions and the main pathway to Cook's cottage. Further exploration of the gardens will reveal magnificent tree avenues, fountains, a fern gully, garden beds and extensive lawns. The Fairies Tree, Model Tudor Village and Scarred Tree may also be found here. Fitzroy Gardens was included on the Victorian Heritage Register in 1998. Over here on the left we have Diana and her hounds. With the wonderful conservatory building behind. Morning.
Morning.
And this lovely building here is Captain, or Cook's cottage I should say, not Captain Cook's cottage. Captain James Cook actually never lived in this cottage, and he was responsible for 3 sea voyages in the late 1700s, which explored the globe at a time when the globe was not very well explored. And on one of those sea voyages he actually discovered the coast of Australia. So this building here on the right hand side is the stables, and then there's actually some rather lovely herb garden, a rather lovely herb garden on the inside. We'll just walk around to the other side. You can actually get a glimpse of the herb garden from this side. It was the home of his parents, and his parents didn't actually build the cottage until they were in their 60s. and Captain Cook only visited the cottage twice. Once was when his father was very, very ill, and the other time was when his mother died. So they weren't happy times that he was visiting the cottage. Morning. And the way the cottage came to be in Australia instead of in England was that there was a philanthropist, a guy called Greenwald, who wanted to donate some sort of cultural heritage to the city of Melbourne in 1934, when the city of Melbourne was celebrating 100 years since white settlement, which occurred in 1834. And so this building came up for auction in England, and it was valued at £300, and he actually paid £800. And the entire building was dismantled. Every brick was labelled, and then it was rebuilt here on this site. And there's been a fair amount of controversy around the building, and but it's a lovely building, and it's got a fireplace and all set up inside, down on the first floor, on the ground floor, and then upstairs is a very cramped bedroom, and apparently there was a family who lived in that cottage later on. They weren't the Cooks, but they were another family, and actually 9 children lived in that house with their parents, so pretty cramped conditions. So we're going to just walk through the rest of the garden now and just really enjoy the waterfalls and the spaces that this garden provides. Morning.
Morning, morning.
Fitzroy Gardens, trees in time. The mid-1800s were formative years for Fitzroy Gardens, with the path network established, many trees planted and fountains installed. The English elms lining this pathway are some of the many planted during this era. Tree avenues were designed to provide welcome summer shade along the pathways and suppress dust from the surrounding streets. Both the scarred tree to the south of Sinclair's cottage, which is directly in front of us, and the fairies tree in the centre of the gardens are the stumps of river red gums, remnants of the trees common to this area before the gardens were established. As well as the gums, the natural vegetation here would have included yellow box wattle and grasses. The avenues of young trees evident in some parts of the gardens today will ensure that beautiful avenues continue to be a feature of these gardens for years to come. So we're just going to go up and have a look at the fairy tree now, and the model Tudor village. So you can see this beautiful avenue of trees with the lovely flower beds. So this is a carving of the fairy tree. And over here is the Tudor village, or the model of a Tudor village. And Hathaway's cottage over there in the middle. This model Tudor village was presented to the City of Melbourne by the citizens of Lambeth, England, in appreciation of gifts of food dispatched from Victoria to England during the food shortages following World War II, 1939 to 1945. And all the way through the gardens there's just these wonderful small retreat areas where you can just go off the main garden path and just wander through some really lovely areas. And this is my favourite part of the park, this little section. I absolutely love this water sculpture over here to our left. Especially the three little owls that are peering up into the tree to our left, as if to find some sort of wisdom from this tree. These trees are elms and they're currently being restored. They've been quite badly damaged by possums who have been eating the upper branches, but they are absolutely beautiful specimens. And over to our left we can see the back of the conservatory that we walked past at the beginning of this walk. So that was a walk through Fitzroy Gardens in the city of Melbourne. This is Bronwynlund from BronHolm Tours signing off. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Bye for now.